Good morning, guys. People coming in, people running around, trying to get organized. It's always something, isn't it? Hey, good morning, guys. Coffee with Shaggy. We're all getting fired up, getting ready for the day. Some of you guys already started. Some of you guys are just getting going. How is everybody doing this morning? I know James Wheeler's on steroids, man. The guy got him, has been calling customers, and he got him a couple customers. Now he's ready for more. What exciting times. Now we just got to move the freight, right? Get the freight, move the freight, find the carriers, and get them back to do it again, right? Isn't that the story? Find the carriers, get the trucks, get the customers, move the loads, and then do it over again, right? It's the way it works. Hey, this morning with Coffee with Shaggy, man, and I hope you guys like these things we do. I just want to come on and talk. It's overwhelming and just be like inspiration a little bit, maybe a vision. A lot of times I look at myself in general, and I'm like, why don't I make my life easier? Why don't I just dispatch? Why don't I just broker? Why don't I just concentrate on compliance? Why don't I just do dispatching for carriers and make some money and run a few trucks and stop worrying about trying to save the world? And it's so hard. You work so hard and build up so many things. You work so hard to build your trucking company. You work so hard to build your brokerage. You work so hard to build your business. And there's always obstacles. There's always brick walls that hold us up. Sometimes it's credit. Sometimes it's money. Sometimes it's drivers. Sometimes it's owner operators. Sometimes it's brokers. Sometimes it's employees. Sometimes it's yourself. All these weird things that happen. I hope you guys are doing really good with what your plan is right now. I hope you guys are focused in the right direction. I hope if you're opening a trucking company, you guys are taking the time to plan it out. God, I get caught up sometimes because my brain's ADHD and it goes 90 miles an hour. So sometimes I have more plans in my head than I need. And I really need to focus on what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes we get caught up and wait for everything else to happen, for everybody else to do it for us, to rely on all these other things. Sometimes we have to have patience in the process, but the process doesn't go fast as our patience. And that gets us in trouble. I know it's early, and I know it's some places it's like 6:30 in the morning, some places 7:30. So I know a lot of people watch these videos later and share them. It's hard to get a lot of people on first thing in the morning, right? But if you guys get a chance, share the video, pass it on to somebody. Today is kind of just an informative day. I mean, I could talk about why you're not networking. I could talk why you're not doing it yourself or you're using somebody else. I could talk about getting customers. I could talk about diversity. I could talk about insurance. I could talk about compliance and safety. But the problem is all that stuff is hard. It is. Getting up to get focused to make 50 phone calls every day. Getting up to do it over again. It's freaking hard. Telling drivers to do what they need to do over and over is hard. Time management is hard. Keeping faith in the plan is really hard. Being proactive is hard. Remembering to log on to your spreadsheets and actually add stuff to it and make those calls every day to build a lane when you could get other people just to build it for you is, I get it's hard. I talk to drivers every day, trucking companies, people. Some got it going on, and then figured out a plan and they're keeping to their niche. But a lot of people are lost and they found out their niche. Oh, look at me. It's taken me years and I'm still confused and ain't got my niche. I'm in everybody's niche. It's so weird because it's two types of people. Even if you own your own authority or your own business, it's where you get good at one thing, you specialize in that thing, and all you do is work that one thing. It just seems like in this world today, the whole thing of working the same thing for 40 years and quitting and retiring is not the thing anymore. Because when one thing goes bad, you have to have more things, you know what I mean, to help out because one thing sucks. Or you live without, live at the minimum. Only get it if you need it. For most people, we call that boring. There's no fun in that. What's the most important thing in trucking right now? What do you guys think? The four that's listening, or how many's out there? What do you guys think? What's the most important for people in trucking right now? Consistency in freight, keeping the lights on, making money. What is it? Because definitely the turn is coming. I think we're still going down. If not, we're definitely floating across the bottom. You know what I mean? So, what do you guys think the biggest problems in trucking is? Is it keeping the lights on, hiring drivers, hiring owner operators, rates and consistency, dispatching? Is the rates and consistency because we find out that we should be doing what we were talking about yesterday, the networking and pre-planning and the calling ahead? Should we do that all the time when we're in business? At least a couple of times a week, every day a little bit. How do we keep up the rates and consistency? Use the load boards, build round trip lanes constantly, and then move our trucks to those lanes when they come up. What's up, Trisha? Long time no speak. Good morning. Cheers, coffee, wake up, get going, mimosas, whatever you guys drink in the morning get started. I won't tell. Guys, and keep joining me back here on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. Let's talk about stuff. What are you having problems with? You guys tell me. Too early? I get it. But if we're working the right way and we're moving along the right way, we should be up in the morning having our meeting of what we're going to do today, right? How does Solomon Petro build his trucking company and get bigger at it if he's always in the truck and he doesn't have time to network the right way and he's just chasing freight? Just saying. And that's one of the biggest problems I see in the whole industry right now. Don't you guys agree? Is networking, building relationships, and making the time to do it? What's up, Tom? Nice to see you, brother. Good morning. Solomon, Tom, Trisha. Guys, thanks for joining. I've been trying to stay steady Freddy on these 8 to 8:30 meetings every morning with you guys to talk. I hope you like the information. You guys, and also, guys, if you guys have any guys you run into that are having compliance trouble, safety audits, drug testing, whatever, man, we are rocking and rolling. And we'd love to just discuss your current program and tell you how we can help you better. Our monitoring program is phenomenal and it saves most people money because it's cheaper, you know. We have self monitoring and monitoring in our portals, and it's really awesome. Kathy and Ali are the best. There's Isaiah. He's in the house. You know, I wanted to come on this morning and just talk about being proactive, having faith in your plan. Stop being, don't get negative. It's hard. Hell, the last 2 weeks, you know, some of the stuff, you know, I don't know if it's people on vacation, running kids, the school, kids are out of school, but even in my own world, you know, it'll go 3 weeks. I'll have tons of one-on-ones and people wanting help and working on things. And then it'll go 2 weeks that it's nothing, you know. And so it's kind of like the freight world too. Sometimes it's rolling, and then sometimes the phones are crickets when you're playing on the load boards. But what I find out is when you're networking properly, and you're building relationships, and you build those lanes and you get it going, your phone should never stop, even in a market like this. But it always, how are you looking? One way? Are you always looking in a round trip motion? Volume. How many do you have? You know, I think a lot of times we get caught up in rates, prices, and what everybody else is leaving on the table. We forget about our plan and our product. We see all these guys that glance through when we're gloomy because we're not networking, and we hear them say, you guys are cheap motherfuckers if you're running for $3 to $5 a mile. But then you look at those guys and they have no paycheck and they watch their savings go down. And then you take that 1,800 in fuel, that 500 to whatever truck payment, that $1,000 to $2,000 a week trailer payment. You take the insurance of 300, 200, 400, whatever it is a week. You take your paycheck that you'd like to make. You take your factoring fee, and you take that all those numbers, your fixed cost and escrow that has nothing to do with your paycheck when everybody has it in their paycheck. And you total that up and you find a 2,000 mile a week product going home every other night on weekends or every night. Or you find 3,000 miles and then you focus on what you want to haul. Do you want to haul end dumps? Do you want to haul grain? Do you want to haul windows? Do you want to haul doors? I mean, what do you want to haul? We can help you with that too, Kimberly. We know everybody, anybody, and somebody. That's what's great having the one stop shop. You know, so is the problem with compliance, brokers, or anything, or is it just flat come out to freight? I haven't dispatched in like 3 years. I've helped. I've been involved. I've jumped in and helped William a couple. I still know how to do it. And I got these guys, Steven, Don, and James, that are in there. And I'm thinking about my personal self of building all these products. If it was just me and one, it'd be one thing, but it's not. It's me and a team because I can never keep myself contained. So I keep listening to all these people and I see all these people's in these groups and stuff and hear everything. And I just don't understand. Why wouldn't you want to build a product where you could be home on weekends, make a certain amount of money that covers your bills, everything else is extra, and Justin too. I wasn't talking about the freight sales side right then, Justin. I was actually talking about how we're getting ready to start really working. Now that we actually have a team that's focused and everybody's on the same page with the brokerage, the dispatching, our flatbed loads coming in, and the new customers we're bringing in. I'm really thinking about doing what you guys don't. I'm thinking about, I don't want to really be like the full blown dispatching, but I'm really excited to be able to use the dispatching that we have finally to generate, to take the customers that we're getting and use those loads plus other brokers' loads and build routes instead of just selling it one way. No, we're getting carriers that want the freight one way because they already have their stuff. But what I'm finding out is a lot of carriers that are 2 to 10 trucks or 2 to 15 trucks, most of them are still one way. And it blows my mind how you can build a business. How, if you're going to build a business to 90 to 100 trucks, how, if you don't build round trips and get consistent and do volume, how, if you're going to ever get anywhere with your business or just get by. Same way with me. My businesses for the last so many years, when I had the trucking company, it was stable. When I had the dispatching, it was stable. Well, I always knew what I could do. You add a few trucks, you add a couple owner operators, times get bad, things move, you keep adding product. Now that I have the brokerage, but not the trucking company, now I need the trucks. It's been my weakest link because my best gift is the trucks. It's not the brokerage. Brokerage is, I can sell freight, but I need to move freight. That's what I'm good at. That's my niche. Helping carriers, moving trucks, moving freight, talking to brokers, talking to shippers. You get to a point where you're thinking about how you can't save the world because people don't want to do the work. They really don't want to make the phone calls. They don't want to network. They don't want to do it. So when do you turn the point where you just build a business? That's what it's about, right? Business, making money. There ain't no money in doing stuff for free. Where has that ever got any of you? So I've been debating, like in my business. Well, my debating in my business is you can preach and yell, but no one wants to hear it. We need to solve problems. The only way to solve problems is to be able to provide a service for people in this service-minded world we live in, where we just want to make a paycheck, be a part of it, and see the numbers. You see it all the time. I just listened to a guy in 3 days tell me how everybody in the world, we should use all this other stuff, and then we get them doing it, then we make money. And it's like, okay. So that means nobody in this world wants to do it for themselves. Everybody else has to do it for them. It's just what part of the tree you fall on. I get it. I teach dispatching and all this stuff. When you get to the part about making the phone calls and the networking, you know, it's hard. You don't understand truckingese. You don't understand the terminology. You call 45 people and they all say no, and you're like, man, I gotta do this every day, man. Before I was working at the fucking factory and I got $22 an hour, and all I had to do is show up, clock in, and go home. Now I gotta fucking call these people, beg them on my knees. Then I gotta call carriers and beg them on my knees. Then I gotta hope it all works and something will happen. It's hard. And on top of that, like I can only imagine what people are going through. Say here, we took on a new dispatch carrier yesterday, and I listened to Maria make 100 phone calls last minute. And she's already established. She got 7 years in the business. 100 phone calls. And most of them won't even use the carriers in the first 6 months. So a new carrier with no relationships, no networking before they start, and no commitments to pull freight. God, if you don't have a plan, that's why you're getting butchered. That's why you're getting killed in the first so many days. Here it goes again. That's right. If you have a dispatcher that's went out there and found all the brokers in the first 30 to 90 days that will use you and they can actually move you, how much is that worth? I mean, you didn't do it. Did you do it? Like when you're doing your authority, how many did you get on the low board and call hundreds and hundreds of brokers and build up lanes and then have them call you even though you're on active to offer you round trip dedicated type freight? Or did you just wait? We preach this all the time about networking, being proactive, and having faith in your business plan. If you had a business plan, know where you're located, know your cost of operations, know what you want to do with the trucking, know where you're going to get your equipment to do the work and understand the power only and whatever if you're not, and then put it into a plan with relationships. It was funny. I sat in here and was talking to, we're always preaching networking, and one of my established dispatchers that I trained a long time ago, you get away from the groove, you forget about things, right? And I was like, you got that guy in Denver and he lives in Wyoming? Is he posted out for 60 days straight nonstop like he's there every day? And the next thing you know, this beer load came in. Not the bad beer people. A beer person called and offered her $1,700, or $1,700 on 400 miles and had multiples every day. Going to a place in nowhere land. Nowhere land. But why do we do the work to find that? All that stuff that moves all the time. Where they don't want to, no one wants to put it on the load board. That's why they don't use new carriers in 6 months because of the fucking fraud, liability, the double brokering, and the ignorance in the industry where people use Facebook to put their valuable customers on because they're too stupid to network the right way. Facebook user says, know your market and getting freight takes time and phone calls, but it can be done within 25 calls. You are exactly right. Now, if you don't get 25 people on the phone, that can make a huge difference, right? So you might want to make 20. Now, it's not 25 cold calls. It's making the calls to get 25 people on the phone. Shit, we did 3 the other day and got directly to the shipping people. Some of the times that you're doing it, I agree with Jared. Put a script down. Like when I call carriers, and today I'm going to do carrier calls with my team, and we're going to call them up and we're going to be just like this. Yo, hey, I'm Shaggy. I noticed that your carrier is located in North Carolina. You guys still located there? I know things get weird. Do you guys still have flatbeds? Where do you guys run? Hmm? Oh, you do? Okay. And you do have your trailers? Great. Are you guys working directly customers or are you guys looking for more brokers with freight the type that you need in your area? Right? And then and that's how I'm gonna start the call. I'm just gonna talk. We're already doing it. We just sit here and listen to Alejandro yesterday, and everybody called. They were fascinated to hear because we talked in the right language. It's just like when you call a customer and you say the word brokerage right in front. You guys know that's like standing in church saying "fuck you," right to your face. You guys get that, right? It's like going "fuck you." That's what broker means to a lot of people. It's kind of like to a carrier whenever you really mention the word factoring and people think it's a great thing. When markets suck, factoring sucks because somebody's taking your money. You mentioned insurance. When freight's great and everything's good, insurance is cool. As soon as you have to pay it and no one else is paying it and the freight rates are down, it's not cool so much no more. You see that $418 a week because you didn't understand how to figure up your paycheck. Location? Are you going to do local and dedicated, 2,000 miles or less a week, 300 to 400 a day, home every other night on weekends and build routes? Are you going to run 3 to 500 mile radius and go home on weekends and build routes? Or are you going to be this free for all, God, Jesus, save the world fucking business where you guys got to make $12,000 a week with overpriced equipment and all that good stuff? And that I hear all the time because you think it's out there and that's the way it is? Or are you going to be like that guy that called me the other day because he seen we're a compliance company and asked us to fix his e-logs like those foreigner guys do that he calls different hours in the morning where they make shit disappear? Hey, I get it. Some people are here for the day and tomorrow while it's there and hanging on tight. And some people plan to be here for 10 to 15 years. I get it. Scam. The double brokers are insane. The bond for a brokerage isn't cheap. Heard a guy say he paid $1,500 a year ago and his renewal is over $5,000. It could happen like that. Like with the bonds. Like my bond is $1,300, but if I'd have went to Nick and Alex, I'd have probably got it for $9. But a lot of guys get $900 for the whole year, right? So whenever your credit goes down, if your credit goes bad and you have a renewal or certain things happen, yeah, it's just like right now. A lot of guys could have been at 15,000, 12,000, 13,000 with Progressive, right? When they started a year ago or 2 years ago. but they're all wondering what happens. Well, Progressive's so big, they use technology, and technology does the work for them. And, if you get a ticket, it could be your safety and compliance. It could be you move too many trucks off your authority when you're growing and not growing, decreased. And it could be your growth or your credit. Everybody's like, what's credit got to do with it? It has a lot to do with it when you use a system like that. Not all systems are the same. But a lot of guys are getting turned because they're living off credit cards, credit scores drop, maybe weird things happen. That's a huge effect to your insurance. It doesn't mean when you leave, you're going to go somewhere else and get a better quote. You may think that in your head. You're just going to a place that might be a little cheaper. But the problem is, as soon as you go to one of those other places, that's a finance type company, it'll change your whole business plan because you're not going to grow as fast. You're like, why not? Well, because now you got to put $2,000 down on owner operator. And when you fire them, you ain't getting your money back right away. When you're direct bill, you get your money back right away because it stops the policy like a car. But see, people don't think about all that stuff in their plan because we all want to get rich quick, get fast, jump right in with. It's like I keep getting these guys to call me with Sprinter vans and box trucks and cargo things. And they're like, what do you need? Man, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to go call one of those four guys that are on Facebook and YouTube that charge you 15% or whatever, and they'll run you for $1 a mile. I don't know what the fuck. It's like, I don't play with micro machines. They keep calling me. They're getting mad at me now because they call me and say, I heard you. I was referred. You're the man. There is nothing about being the man that can help a guy that's playing with micro machines. It's just not the way it happens. I mean, and your micro machine in your box truck's not CDL certified. So now you can't even go play with the helos in the big box trucks. So you're still like the little midget fucking micro machine wanting to play in a big boy world. And all the people out there now are changing their restrictions because of fraud, liability, and the get rich quick motherfuckers that jumped in. So now you're even more screwed, and you're believing in all these people are saying you're probably going to lose your ass and fall out. Why did you start a fucking Sprinter van anyways? Well, I was going into hot shot and Sprinter van because I figured I'd be an investor and get out there, and it seemed like a really good way in because I don't want to go back to work for the man, and I'd really like to get out there and do some really great things. So why didn't you just start an authority, learn how to dispatch, get your brokerage knowledge behind you, and add on owner operators that don't have a wife at home that are all over Facebook needing the place to lease on and let them pay for everything and open a trucking business? I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like, we got people coming here I have people that are wanting to do it, but the problem is to do it, they want it now. And it doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? That's one of the reasons why I'm starting my dispatching back. And I'm actually going to be involved. I'm going to be working with Steven and a few others and Don in the group. And I'm going to use my compliance and my freight and handpick some flatbed and dry van carriers, and I'm going to get back to what I'm good at and build some trucking companies. Because I either got to open my own, which I would love to do. I have the team to do it. But I keep getting hung on helping others. It's crazy, right? But we've been on for a long time, and I just wanted to come on and talk, and I see people getting bored. So I just wanted you to think, what are you guys doing? What are you guys networking? How are you guys building your business? What is your plan? Are you being proactive? And I get it. Everybody can only wear so many hats. Some people are good at driving. Some people are good at dispatching, but they're not good at compliance. Some people are good at dispatching, but not recruiting. Some people have the money to do all of it, but they're not good at any of it. They just have the money. I understand. I've been doing this so long and helped so many carriers. The problem is my plans got messed up because I forgot what I'm good at. I'm good at building trucking companies and helping people, and I get so much focused on the wrong thing. The one thing I've been focused wrong on, what's up, Eddie? Nice, long time no speak. The one thing I've been counting on is I've always relied on others to help build something, and you got to do it yourself, right, Eddie? You got to be in charge. You got to make sure. You can't rely on anybody because their agendas are always the thing, always come first. Everybody's agenda changes, and then Eddie is stuck still holding the bag. You still got to cover the trucks. You still got to pay the bills. You still got to come up with freight when people don't come through. Still Eddie. It's always been like that. The only thing that I've always wanted to always just help and share knowledge and teach. So my funnest thing. Diversity. Adding on owner operators. Eliminating equipment because you don't need it. Going after the customers. It's like, it's crazy because it's like, even for myself, I'm like starting all over at a point this last year and a half, trying to find my way and focus. My wife's been like, can you hurry up? I mean, I love you to death. Can you get your ass in gear? And my ass is in gear. The only problem that I've been hurting myself on is people want to own trucking businesses, but they really don't want to do the dispatching. They don't really want to do the networking. So I guess I'm going to bring it back and actually stop tinkering with it and do it. And we're going to start helping some of the carriers by booking their loads and running them again, just like we did, Eddie, all those years with somebody else. That's the way it is, because people just don't want to do it themselves. No matter how much you preach, there's this fixed world that we can't do it. We got to have somebody else help us. Like, it's like part of the agenda. Like, you get authority, you file your MC number, you hire a dispatching service. Well, first you get insurance, then you get a factoring company, and then you get a dispatching service, and then you're going go to work. That's the mentality of it. Or you find Coyote, CH Robin, somebody to use you in the first 30 days and let that guy micromanage you and hope it works. Isn't that crazy? Nobody wants to hear the ways to do it themselves anymore. They want it, all just give it to me, tell me how it is, where I go, and that's it. They can't, can they? You're very true, Eddie. And even the brokers you work with, is their 7-day plan? How many of them really have a 7-day plan that they can consistently keep going for you? And then do they build it for you? Or do they let it let their plan be dictated by their customers, and they don't do anything else to help you whenever your plan gets fucked up? Your 7-day plan as a carrier's messed up, but does the broker really care? If he's not doing it both ways and really building your company and helping you round trip, does the broker really care? This is the question, right? They do, right? They have their own agenda. It's crazy too, because I built this new brokerage with Isaiah, and our agenda is not that way. Like, I had to go in there another day and like, I was listening to Dan, and he's like giving away most of our rate on the load to cover the carriers because he wants the carrier to get covered first. And then I go and look at other brokers that have to, and I don't even want to put my freight on the load board. And I grew up like that. And then I see other people, that's all they do now is put their freight on the load board and sell it as cheap as they can. Is that a good broker? Is a good broker a person that puts the load on the load board and this lets people sells it for the best guy because that's the way it works? Or is a broker a guy that gets somebody like Eddie, uses that carrier over and over and keeps building more customers based off his carriers so he can keep them running? What's up, Tire Killer? The man is in the house. I'm just come on to drink coffee with you guys and talk. I don't care if you use my products. I don't care if you want to do dispatching with us, with our dispatch, SLA dispatching. I don't care if you guys want to work with my compliance company. I don't even care if you guys want to use my consulting. I just came on. I want to give you guys things to think about, fuel your energy for the morning, and give you some ideas. Talk about reality for a minute, not beat up other carriers. The conversation for this morning was we're still on networking, hitting the brick wall. And what are people doing to fix it? I've came to the conclusion I need to dispatch carriers for the fact that they just won't do it. Like, I don't understand how hard it is to network. Like, we just took James, a 10-year driver. He made 150 calls and he got his groove going. Now he's out of control talking to customers. And you think James is talking to customers and getting them because he's a sales guy, or he speaks truckinese and he has a team to help him understand the process. Why is we so scared to network and build a product? Why are we so scared to commit to volume with our 1 to 5 truck companies? Why, instead of committing to volume and networking, do we rely on the load boards so much? It is. That's right. I remember when Don, the other day when freight was bad, Don walked into this nursery, this guy that does fish ponds and all these exotic flowers over in North Carolina. And the guy told us that he's paying like $4 a mile for dedicated carriers on his product. And I'm like, and all the time we find that like customers that want carriers. He got his feet wet. He's not scared of the water no more. Nope. He's like a shark swimming in there eating up all the little fish. That's amazing how things change around. So, what are you guys doing? Before I go, it's like 36 minutes in, and there's 9 people. What are you guys doing to network to build your product? How many people are you calling a day? How many posts? How many videos? What are you telling them? What are you selling? What is your consistency? How can you sell that product to customers even if you call them? What would you do with the freight when you got it? I mean, are you good enough with your 5 trucks to go out and find 6 Eddies and make sure and understand your product, their product, and all work together to service a customer? That's why we have other people to do it for you. Because if you're not doing this as a carrier, you need to have somebody doing it, which is exactly why we have Don, me, and Steven, and James, and the whole team. I mean, like, you're friends with brokerages. How many times has that brokerage told you to go get customers, and then you bring the customers back to them and they'll really actually pay you and you can trust them? That's why you don't do it. Think about it. All these carriers go into these receivers that are having problems, and the receivers, and I was there, right? And the receivers say, "Hey man, you're a really great job. You're the first guy that spoke English that's here all day that can actually back in the dock and get it in the first time. Man, we really appreciate you, Eddie." And Eddie's like, "Yeah, man, I'm in the area all the time. Can I get your number and let you know when I'm here to get some loads?" The brokers call and they're like, "Hey, they got this new customer, this new lane. I'm bidding stuff. Oh, we don't use you in the first 60 days, but they just told you the name of the customer, the product, and everything that's going on. Did you call the customer and try to get in direct since you know they needing help with that freight, even though the broker won't use you, or you just move on to the next broker?" If you have the trucking company, what are you going to do with the freight when you get it, though? They got 80 loads a week, you got 5 trucks. Yeah, they're interested in you, don't like you. Well, what can you do better? How are you going to keep the cheap sons of bitches out that are selling the freight so cheap? Customers don't like it. We talked to a customer just the other day that said he's so fed up with the big brokers now because people don't show up. The carriers are selling cheap, poor hour quality. They fall off loads. Oh, yeah, they get another one on it. But do you know how annoying for a customer sometimes to have 4 different trucks set up on a load and the first 3 don't show up? So then they switch to carriers only. But you ain't made no relationship with carriers to get back in there. You do need allies in this industry. People people that aren't one side agenda over a stupid fucking. I get it. I've been doing these videos now with Frank and everybody for what, 7 years now? 13 years talking and preaching. You'd think I've got smart and just shut up and run my own business. Stop trying to train the world and keep it all my own product. Man, I'm so close. It's hard being in this industry and trying to be a positive, motivating speaker, trainer, enthusiastic, motivating, push people along. I'm telling you, because, if I was a smart guy, I would have the dispatching, the brokerage, the compliance, and the consulting, and only do it for my clients and keep it all in house and capitalize on everything so I didn't have to worry about the economy being broke. I would stop sharing all my secrets with people and keep it to myself. What's up, Bradley? Nice to see you. Coffee with Shaggy every morning, 8 o'clock. Come in. Sometimes I lied because there's a couple of weeks I didn't, and I get caught up because I run businesses, so I'm not able to come on. But I'm trying to come on more often and stay consistently. It's just hard, man. So I like doing it first thing in the morning. That is right. What you have, but you're still sourcing and growing. It's my biggest flaw is believing in people and caring about others just as well as myself sometimes. And talking shit. You know what I mean? I remember whenever I was talking to Eddie one day, then I was just telling him the truth about facts. But it's okay because in Eddie's world, it's the brokers that feed him freight. He understands. So whoever's feeding him and keeping him going and supplying his trucks, that's what works best. So what are you guys doing to change your plan? I know what I need to do. Just when you're at the bottom going up and the flow's not there, it makes it twice as hard. So you have to think of different avenues to do it. So I'm switching around, to change the stuff up. And I keep coming back for the last 7 months. I keep coming back to you guys don't network. Guys don't build relationships. You don't build dedicated lanes. You don't do it 30 to 60 days out. And you're still waiting for the day and tomorrow and counting on people you shouldn't because you should be finding people you should, but how do you do that while you're driving? I understand. Did I work, Bradley? Did I help you with financing yet, or did we already try? Because I can do like 580 plus credit. I can do CDL or non CDL. Experience or no experience. Always experience is better, and we can do it pretty fast. It just the big part's not with us is not a financing for a financing for the trucks. It's having the down payment because the down payments are usually 10 to 40%. The hardest thing with financing right now is the interest rates like 7 8%. So a lot of these loans, even if you go to a bank, are fucking like 10 to 14% interest. It's stupid, and to get 7 8 is still crazy. Like so, first the trucks were inflated, now the financing rates are through the roof. Unreal. It almost thinks like a scam because like the investors that are loaning the money, hell, they're making a killing now. But we can help you. Bradley, give me a call. My phone number is right on the screen. So think about it, guys, what you got going on, what you're doing. Think about networking. Think about building relationships. Think about all that good stuff we keep preaching all the time. And it's about 45 minutes. So I'm like 15 minutes over. I love all you guys. I hope you guys are having a really, I hope you guys really working on your plan. If you need help with dispatching, compliance, safety, equipment financing, insurance, consulting, helping with your trucking business or your plan, let's talk. You know what I mean? I'm always here. I've never left. I'm the one that's always here. Like that's my cell phone number on the screen. Tire kill. I knew you did that, tire killer. It happens, man. Having a team is better sometimes, man. If you're not willing, we even talked about it. If you're not willing to drive the truck, make the calls, add people on, do the work, do the compliance, and hustle it, then then it's better sometimes to lease on. There's nothing wrong with it. Frank says it all the time. Know your plan, know your product, and know what your capabilities are able to do. And try to stop trying to do stuff you can't. You know what I mean? It's because in those webinars, I taught people how to do brokering and dispatching and trucking and diversity and compliance and the 5 ways to hire that no one does. The accident training, the maintenance kits, the pre-planning process. I taught about posting and directions. I talked about networking. You know, the problem is doing it. There's only so much time in a day, guys. And it doesn't ever get easier. It only gets more complicated. Everybody's like, yeah, once I get this under control and I get the connections and stuff, it's going to be smooth. No, it ain't. Because if you only got one truck, even when you got connections smooth, you're one economy, one breakdown, and one dickhead hitting your truck away from losing your ass. Now you got 4 owner operators leased on a tire killer, and they're running an tire killer has a problem, and he still has 16 to 20,000 a month coming in to cover his expenses. That's a different fucking story. Most people don't even take the time to understand any of this before you start. I get these fucking calls from box trucks, sprinter vans, hot shots, and these guys that are jumping in with low credit, no equipment, they have no trailers, all this stuff. And I'm not a dream blower. I'm just giving you the facts. Or the opposite. They got the money and the credit, but they don't understand the rest. They just seen it. Still the same facts. So if you guys need help out there, we're into the dispatching. We're looking for dry vans and flatbeds, more flatbeds right now. And we're looking to that for people that live in the Midwest, South, and Southeast that my team can start working on through the brokerage and building you guys round trips. We got dry van stuff and flatbed. We're not looking for $10,000 a week kind of trucks. We're going to be looking for guys that want to be home on weekends, do 6 to 8,000, 6 to 70, 500, 230 to 280, $3 a mile empty and loaded or more. And home on weekends. I don't need no freight chasers. I don't need no guys that want to run all over the place. I don't need any of that. I need guys that want to build a trucking company, that need help because they're missing pieces, that want the whole all-around team to help with compliance, safety, getting customers, and booking loads. And they want to grow their business. I'd rather take 4 or 5 guys and turn them into 30, and then rather than run 30 different trucks. So you guys know people that are hurting? You know people with bad safety scores, or you know people that just don't want to do the networking and want somebody that's willing to do it for them because they have the agendas in mind. Have them give us a call. Blow our phones off the hook. I have a team that's finally hungry, and we're all organized. The software is in place. Drug testing, qualification files, all our brokerage is going. We're only like 2 or 3 loads from our credit score. It's been a long year. And Allie and Dan and Isaiah and William and Stephen and Justin and James and Christina and Don and Shaggy. And now we have added Alejandro and Maria for our Spanish and to help us. It's a huge team. We have team. We're behind on the work, so now we got to bring in more work. Because you don't want to do it, we will. We have everything. Dispatching, brokerage, compliance, safety, knowledge, years experience, thousands of carriers. We don't just want to preach it and teach it no more. Now it's time to put up or shut up and do it. And it's kind of my fault with my personal business plan because I should have stepped up and did a little more sooner. Like I worked one department and made it going and then moved to the next one and the next one. Just kind of started all fucked up. But now people are in place. Isaiah's is running the brokerage. Kathy's running compliance. So I need to do what I'm good at and move trucks. So you guys are in trouble. It's gloomy. You need a light. Give us a call. What do you have to lose?